Hey, what's going on, students? I want to run through some T.6 IXL for Algebra 1. So we're going to solve the system of inequalities by graphing. Okay, so I need to graph x is less than or equal to 5, and I also need to graph x is greater than -7. So I'm going to start with this one. Notice you have purple and blue in this case. Make sure you select which one you're going to graph first. So if I'm going to graph x is less than or equal to 5, I need to select that button right there. So where does x equal 5? Let's start there. Okay, so here's where x equals 5, this line. So you need to kind of put a dot to start and then a second dot to kind of plant your line. And then as you can see, when I drag away from the dot, I have a new icon right there. That's going to tell me what type of line to make. Should I leave it solid or make it dash? So you click back and forth to go back and forth between the two types of lines. So if it's a less than or equal to, should be a solid line, so I'm good there. Okay, so now you can't shade until the end. Okay, so we got to do the other line. Remember the three things. Where does it go? What does it look like? And what side do I shade? So we kind of save the last step for the last step. So greater than means I need to have a dash line. Okay, so solid line where x equals 5, dash line where x equals -7, and I got a shade in between them. X has got to be less than this line, so over here. And then x has got to be greater than this line. So it's basically saying, do you want to shade here? Do you want to shade here? Or do you want to shade here? Boom, that's where I want to shade. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. See if I did. Boom, I got it. Okay, next one. X has got to be less than 4. Okay, let's make sure I select it. So where does x equal 4? Boom, right there. Plan it. It's got to be dashed because it's a less than. Less than means you cannot touch the line. Y has got to be less than 5. Ooh, okay, so where does y equal 5? Ooh, got to select it. Where does y equal 5? Right there. Plant the line. I need to have a solid line, so I'm good to go. Okay, so now I got a shade. Okay, try to shade. Now I got 4 quadrants here. I got to pick the right one. So where can I be less than 4? Well, that's all over here. This is less than 4. But I also got to be less than 5. I think I got to be right in there. Less than 4, less than 5. Hit it. Oop, already shaded. Let's submit. Got him. 2 for 2. Okay, let's do another one here. This will be the last one I do. Otherwise, just rinse and repeat. So we have y is less than or equal to -7. Okay, make sure I select it. Where does y equal -7? Right there. Plan it. Solid line. So I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, good. Now y has got to be greater than 3x minus 3. Okay, now this was in slope intercept form. So please don't forget your slope intercept form. Okay, so intercept, you start at -7. The slope of 3, 1 to the right, change in the height. So where does y equal -7? Right there. 1 to the right, change in the height. There's my slope of 3. Now, before I stop, I got to make sure I have the right type of line. The green line needs to be solid. The blue line needs to be dashed because it's a greater than. So I cannot touch the blue line. Okay, now where do I shade? Well, I got to be greater than -7, so I need to be above the green line. Now, if I want to be greater than this line, I need to be on the greater than side. Well, which one's the greater than side? You can do a 0, 0 point check, or the shortcut is if you draw a straight line through it, the top side would be the greater than side, and the bottom side would be the less than side. So I want to be greater than the blue line. So I'm going to be up in here on this side of it, and I want to be greater. I think I'm going to click this side. Just take a look. Got him. Okay, so most of them will be in slope intercept form. Some of them might be in standard form. If you need to go to Desmos really quick to graph them to make sure your lines are in the right spot, that's a part of the problem. You got to put the line in the right spot, and you got to make sure it's the right type of line. I'm going to do another one here really quick. Okay, y is less than 4. Solid line. Moving on. Y has got to be greater than -10x plus 8. So where does plus 8 start? Okay, now a slope of -10x would be 1 to the right, down 10. Boom. Okay, and then solid line. Okay, cool. Both are solid lines because of the symbols. Okay, now which side do I shade? I got to be less than the orange line, so I got to be down here. But then I got to be greater than the green line. Where's the greater than side? It would be actually this side right here. Hit it. Got him. There you go. Rinse and repeat, friends. You got this thing. See you in class. Goodbye.